Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are all welcome to today's event, and Honorable Minister, welcome, NIRCOM Chair and members. The program for today is with us, and we are supposed to be starting with the national anthem, which had already started. Please, let's have the national anthem. Prayers first. Oh.
Brother, I thought national anthem first.
Yeah, it's national anthem first, please.
Then prayer next.
Okay. Prayers.
أعوذ بالله إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you today. We commit this day into your hands. We commit the events for today into your hands. We pray for your leadership. We pray for your guidance, our Heavenly Father. We pray that you will bless us even as we embark on this journey of celebrating 25 years of the Nile Basin Initiative. We pray all this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much. And please, you can be seated. As a part of the opening, really, you are all welcome, and today we know is the day when we are initiating the process for the launch of the Silver Jubilee of Nile Basin, and the function is supposed to be live stream. It is, and I think we will get that confirmation from the members. And it is involving all the partner states from the Nile Basin, and we'll begin by the introductions. And as a way of introduction, I'm Tinomshon Jackson. I'm a member of the Nile Basin Technical Advisory Committee for Uganda, and I'm representing the chair, who happens to be the technical chair of the Nile Basin Initiative, because Uganda now is holding the chair. And that is why I'm here coordinating what is going on. My colleague, Dr. Karist, is not available today. Otherwise, you are all welcome. And we have the program with us today, which I wanted to have a quick review of, that we will have the small introduction. After that, we will have a screening of a small video, which will be presented to us on the journey of the NBI. Then we have some benefit, a presentation on the benefit of the cooperation. And then the ED will also give us a brief on the NBI itself. We have the remarks from the country. Then we have the official launch that will be done by the NIRCOM chair, who happens to be also the Minister of Water and Environment Uganda. And thereafter, we will have a few questions and clarifications that will be coming from the media, between the media and the teams led by the NIRCOM chair. And we end our day of the launch at that. Having said that, we know that, of course, as I indicated, that this today marks the start of the process of launching the Silver Jubilee of Nile Basin, which we are all aware is supposed to be coming to 25 years since it was established in 1999. And every part that will be going on will be related to NBI during that journey of the 25 years. Now, we will go on to, yes, I'm advised that the theme, we have the theme of Nile Basin, the theme for today, or for the theme for the Silver Jubilee is Nile Basin at 25, unlocking the benefits of Nile Basin cooperation. That is the theme that has been chosen, which I think is befitting considering what has gone on within the River Nile Basin. Now, as part of the introduction, I think we will have to look at the members that are around. Maybe we shall do self-introduction, but self-introduction. Okay. There are those who are here within the Nile Basin complex, and those ones will introduce them. And the way we will introduce them is in the form of where they are coming from and what the institutions they are representing. Then we'll go online also to see those who are online so that we know the people we are dealing with. Now, representatives, we have the representatives from Nile Basin Secretariat who are here. Yes. We have representatives from Nile Basin Discourse. Okay, thank you. We have the representatives from government who have come from the ministries of water and other government agencies in Uganda. Yes. Now, we have with us here the EDs that were represented, they were part of the ED, the management of the Nile Basin since its inception up to now. Those are representing the EDs, executive directors. Then, thank you very much. We have GIZ, who is representing the donor community and has been with us through the journey of this cooperation. Yes. Yes. We have the Golfers Association with us here, who are part of the civil society with us. Thank you very much. They are Rotarians. Okay, I understand we have Rotarians also with us. But thank you very much. Thank you. Now, Mr. Kahangire is coming in with very many hearts. Allow me to again go back to him. Because where I'm going back to him, I think is very many things. He is, first of all, the first Nile Technical Advisory Committee member for Uganda. That is one. Two, he is the second executive director of NBI, and in fact, the first one for Uganda. And thirdly, and most importantly, related to why we are here, he witnessed, is one of the few that witnessed the establishment of NBI. Thank you very much, Mr. Kahagiri. So that is the way of introduction of those who are here. There is the media. There is the media, please. Thank you very much. You are always with us and we are with you. Thank you very much for being part of the Nile and communicating what the Nile is doing with the partner states and in the country. Now, after this, we are going to those who are online. Yes. Online, please, we are beginning with Burundi. Okay, as the countries prepare, can we start with the Nile centers? The Nile centers, we have 2 Nile centers in addition to the Secretariat. We have NERSAP and ENTRO. NERSAP, please. NERSAP, are you there? ENTRO?
Yes, intro. This is Tashoma from intro.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Anybody else from NERSAP? Okay, let's go to the countries. Burundi. DRC. Ethiopia. Huh? Okay, Honorable Minister, yes. We note you are there on the line. Do we have somebody from DRC? From Rwanda? Anybody from Kenya? South Sudan? The Sudan? United Republic of Tanzania? Okay, I imagine Uganda. Uganda, I see Dr. Karisti is online. I see Sowed is also online. Anybody
Yes,
else?
we are there. We are there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so thank you. Unable to be with you, but we are joining online. Thank you.
Thank you. And the rest of the members will be joining, I imagine, from the countries. And as they join, we will get to know them during the course of the day. So that is as a way of introduction of members who are participating in today's meeting. And after this, I think we shall go on the next part of the agenda, which is the screening of a short video on the NBI journey. Please, Secretary.
The River Nile is famed as the longest river in the world. Within the Nile Basin lie 11 states, and it is a key concern for these states, due to the growing populations, to sustain economic growth, meet the increasing demand for food, water, and energy for their citizens. Such a powerful resource coursing through the land comes with both opportunities and challenges. The vitality of the Nile supports various wetlands, lakes, and rivers, plus the growing populations that heavily depend on the benefits of this resource. These would include, but not limited to, the potential for hydropower generation, increased food production and intra-basin trade in agriculture, navigation, and more. The Nile Basin member states have an opportunity for economic integration that would bring prosperity to the region. However, attaining these opportunities comes with challenges. These include the impact of climate change that affects the water levels of the Nile, extreme droughts and floods, hydrologic variability, environmental degradation, and loss of biodiversity. And not forgetting the increasing demand of a growing population that is tied to the Nile's vivacity. It is quite clear that none of our countries has the capacity to tackle these challenges alone. Cooperation is the only solution. The need for cooperation birthed the Nile Basin Initiative. It was established on 22 February 1999 by the ministers in charge of water affairs in the various Nile Basin states. NBI is made up of 10 member states: Burundi, DR Congo, Egypt, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, the Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda. Eritrea fills in the role of observer. NBI's purpose? To achieve sustainable socio-economic development through the equitable utilization of and benefit from the common Nile Basin water resources. This is alongside parallel efforts towards a formal Cooperative Framework Agreement, CFA, to create a permanent and legally mandated institution. The Nile Council of Ministers of Water Affairs, comprised of ministers responsible for water affairs in the NBI member states, is the highest decision-making body and provides policy guidance. The Nile Technical Advisory Committee is comprised of technical representatives from the partner states who provide technical advice and assistance to the Council of Ministers. Professional day-to-day management of the NBI is by the Secretariat, NILSEC, located in Entebbe, Uganda, and the two investment arms, namely the Eastern Nile Technical Regional Office, ENTRO, based in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and the Nile Equatorial Lake Subsidiary Action Program Coordination Unit, NILSAP-CU, based in Kigali, Rwanda. In each country, the National NBI Office, headed by the respective member of the Nile Technical Advisory Committee, NILTAC, serves as the focal point for all NBI-related activities. NBI ensures that the member states jointly protect and utilize the common Nile Basin water resources for win-win socio-economic benefits and promote regional peace and security. How? By implementing the following three core functions. Facilitating basin cooperation. This function is undertaken to provide a common platform for countries to engage, consult, and deliberate with each other and other Nile stakeholders on a regular basis. It aims to build broad political and civic support for transboundary water cooperation in the basin. Water resource management. This function provides critical services in building basin-wide technical competencies and capabilities and supporting science or knowledge-based decision-making to monitoring, protecting, and sustaining the Nile water resources. Water resources development. This function mainly focuses on identification and preparation of cooperative water resource investments that demonstrate to the basin population the benefits accruing from cooperation. An assertive 10-year strategy was drawn up. NBI's 2017-2027 strategy is broken down into 6 goals. 1. Water security. This entails meeting the rising water demand. 2. Energy security. This entails unlocking and optimizing hydropower potential. 3. Food security. Increasing agricultural productivity. 4. Environmental sustainability. Protecting and restoring degraded ecosystems. 5. Climate change adaptation. Preparing for climate change impacts. 6. Transboundary water governance. Bringing people together to build a common ground for win-win benefits. The NBI's numerous achievements clearly demonstrate that through cooperation, a lot has been done and a great deal more can be achieved for the future. All member states agree that cooperation, in spirit of one river, one people, one vision, is not a choice, but a must. If you would like to know more information about the work NBI is doing or where to find us, please check out our sites. Thank you for watching.
Okay, thank you, Secretariat, for that brief and the video that is showing us part of the NBI and what it is about. We are now going to receive a presentation on the benefits of the cooperation also from the Secretariat, please.
Thank you, Moderator and Honorable Minister, governance members present. This short presentation is about the benefits of cooperation, why the stakeholders should be interested, and what needs to be done in order for the countries to benefit from this transboundary resource. It will be screened in 4 major segments. The first one is about the description of the basin itself, so that we understand what is the resource in it. Then a slight explanation on the journey, what we've gone through, the different stages or segments that have gone through this cooperative process. Then the institution itself, what is its mandate, what does it put on the table, what has been the gains, and what has been the constraints in the process. And then we look at the benefits, answering the question of why we should be interested. Basically, the geography or hydrology of the Nile is shown on that map. It has a lot of characteristics. The socioeconomic side, we have many people living in the basin. I think now we are almost 300 million people within the basin. And within the basin countries itself is about 500 million. And if you look at the continent itself, it's estimated to have 1.2 billion people. So that means almost 40% of the population on the continent is living in 10 countries which are members of the Nile Basin. Therefore, it's an area of strategic importance if we are to address the continental challenges, because by dealing in the 10 or 11 countries of the continent, you'll be addressing a huge amount or responding to a big part of the challenges of the continent. The area is about 3.2 million square kilometer. That is the area of the basin. And if you look at the continental surface area of Africa, it's about 32 million square kilometer. So that means 10% of the continent is the Nile Basin, and it has also a diversity in terms of physical characteristics. We know the Sahara Desert. It goes through it. It goes through the tropics. It goes through the plateau and the highlands, the plateau of the Equatorial Lakes and the highlands of Ethiopia. We also note that the basin is fed by 2 main sub-basins, Equatorial Lakes and the eastern side, where we have the Ethiopian highlands, and about 85–86% of the total flow, mean annual flow of the basin comes from the Eastern Nile. But this also is prone to climate variations. The climate change have affected the pattern in which this river flows, and of course that has an impact in terms of the economies which are climate sensitive and therefore affecting the economies of the countries. Most of the use are in the downstream countries, where we have the arid or semi-arid conditions, therefore constraining the availability of water and therefore depending on the Nile for their development. We also understand that most undeveloped part is upstream, and that can also be seen in terms of the statistics of the development trends in the upstream countries. We also note that the Nile Basin is a home to fragile ecosystems, but also has world-class environmental assets, because the Nile itself is the longest river. That is a world-class phenomena. We have the Lake Victoria, which is the largest lake by surface area, the second largest lake in the world by surface area. We have the Sud wetlands, which are, I think, one of the largest wetlands in the world. All those are world-class characteristics that, in a way, define the Nile Basin and makes it important on the world arena. On the right-hand side, you see the map with the countries that are in the basin with their flags. The basin has challenges and opportunities that can be harnessed to make a better livelihood in the basin. One of the challenges is high population, and with high growth, therefore impacting on the finite or constant water resources which are available. And there is also water scarcity in the sense that the water is unevenly distributed within the basin. The time it occurs and where it occurs is uneven. We have the desert, we have the highlands where the water occurs in different times. We have also the climate change, which impacts on the timing or the seasonality on how the water comes through. We have rampant poverty, which is common based on the global statistics of poverty trends. Our countries are some of the poorest, and yet the resource of water is seen as a vehicle or a mechanism that can help alleviate poverty in terms of improving on productivity on water-based sectors. We have declining water availability, which is also explained by the climate change. We have environmental degradation. The pressure on the environment has been huge, and therefore the environment is getting degraded, and this is also a challenge. The climate change, which is a risk multiplier in many areas of productive sectors, is also present here and affects our climate-sensitive economies in terms of the way we produce and therefore are able to leverage our economies. Despite these challenges, we have also seen silver linings in the basin, in the sense that we have opportunities. These can be seen through the vibrant young population. Most of our countries have got some of the youngest populations, and this is a potential in terms of productivity and getting things better. We have vast and still pristine environmental resources. Some of the untouched resources are still there, and this can be tapped into to improve on our productivity. There is potential for hydropower. A potential of about over 30,000 megawatts is inherent in the Nile Basin, and this has not been fully utilized. Some of the countries like Ethiopia and Uganda have been able to develop some of this resource, but there is still a huge resource that needs to be developed. And if you look at the statistics, some of our countries have the least access to clean energy. Therefore, if we harnessed this resource, we could reverse that, and in a way also reverse on environmental degradation, because most of our population, especially in the rural, they depend on wood fuel for energy. Therefore, if we have hydropower, we can be able to reverse that trend and therefore protect the environment. The food production is also high in some areas and low in others. We don't have the capacity to trade and be able to produce to full potential and be able to trade and distribute. Actually, the basin is seen as a net importer of food, but it has the capacity to be a net supplier of food. And then we also have the issue of navigation, which is also not fully developed within the basin. We have fast-growing economies. If you look, some of our countries are in the range of 5 to 6% annual growth of their economies, and this can be done better if we maybe increase on the cooperation and learning from each other and leveraging each other to improve on the growth of our economies. We have a diversity of culture of cooperation, and this also can be harnessed so that we can be able to increase on the potential that is inherent in this shared resource. The journey of the Nile cooperation can be put in like 3 major segments. The first, of course, there were earlier attempts to cooperate, but the kind of formal cooperation that attempted to bring countries together can be traced back to 1967, following the floods of the early 60s that ravaged the equatorial region. There was an attempt by the UN agencies, WMO, UNDP, to try and find out what could have been the cause of this. And to do that, there was a dedicated study on the data collection for the equatorial lakes, Victoria, Albert, Kyoga, so that they could be able to establish from the data what could have been the case. And with the hydromet, there was a lot of advantages here. We were able to establish most of the hydromet stations in our countries were established under hydromet, and they continue to serve the data needs of the countries. They also developed under the hydromet a model that was part of this study in the 70s and 80s. I think Mr. Patrick Kahangire was part of the modelers who participated in this model development. He's here with us. The hydromet went from 1967 to 1992, but in between, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also initiated the Undugu group. This was through Foreign Affairs, and I think the former Secretary General of the UN that time was the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Egypt, Boutros Ghali, was behind this. They were able to form the Undugu group, and it had also objectives which was looking at regional cooperation and also looking at infrastructure, trade and environment and culture. The Undugu group did not move much, but still the water sector continued championing the technical side. And following the Teconile, the hydromet, 1992, a lot of data had been collected. There was now the interest of the countries to move from data collection and see what they can do with this data to make, better plans that can address the challenges of the people. So in 1992, the Teconile was put in place, and this looked at developing a regional, an action plan that would somehow translate the data collected into the addressing the needs of the people. So the action plan comprised of so many projects that included the cooperative framework agreement, included the environmental management, economic projects, and all those things. But the challenge then was, how can this action plan be funded going forward? So in 1992, the ministers were brought on board. Previously, Hydromet and Teconile, they were mostly the technical people, I think up to PS level. But in 1992, the technical team brought on board the ministers, and the political side now was very important in order to get the funding and support for the action plan to be implemented. And the policy guidelines were, okay, the discussions and looking for funds on how they can mobilize resources to implement this started going forward. And along the way, the idea of engaging the World Bank to coordinate the funding of this action plan came along the way. The bank was approached by the Council of Ministers. The chairman of the Council of Ministers wrote to the World Bank, and the World Bank reviewed the action plan, and that's how they came up with the Nile Basin Initiative, and also parallel activities, including the Cooperative Framework Agreement, were agreed upon. And that now was the birth of the Nile Basin Initiative in 1999 that looked at more deeper cooperation in areas of capacity, in areas of socio-economic development, infrastructure, and all those that you see as the work of NBI, basically looking at the technical track in addressing the challenge. But also, along the way, they agreed on the political track, which was now looking at the CFA, way back in 1997, the panel of experts was put in place. It was able to prepare the background documents that formed the basis for preparation of the CFA. And that panel of experts moved to the technical committee, and that technical committee was able to draft the CFA. Then in 2003, the negotiating committee was formed, which now was started the negotiation in 2003, and in 2010 or so, they completed the negotiation, and they moved on to the signing and the ratification that has gone on. So, so far, 5 countries have ratified, and it's remaining 1 to ratify so that we can be able to progress to the formation of a commission. About the NBI, I think it has already been mentioned in the video, but just in a quick summary, it's an intergovernmental partnership which looks at the countries of the Nile and looking at how they can work together to cooperatively manage and develop the water resources, established on 22nd February 1999 by the ministers in charge of water. The reason that we are here to really mark or celebrate that establishment. Then there was a negotiated shared vision objective, which essentially looks at the sustainable development of the Nile Basin and also focusing on the benefits. Then the functions way back in 2012 of the NBI were refined to be cast into three major areas. The first one is about basin cooperation, the second one about water resource management, and the third one about water resource development. So those are the three core functions that NBI up to now is working around. These are the 6 goals that were put in the strategy 2017-2027. The NBI has evolved through 3 major strategic planning phases. The first strategy, which was the shared vision strategic action program, was developed in 2002, and it guided the implementation up to around 2010. Then we had the strategic action plan from 2012 to about 2017, which was looking more at enhancing the delivery of the benefits. Then we have the one from 2017 to 2027, a 10-year strategy, which is looking at the 6 goals that you see on the screen. The 6 goals were informed by the national needs, the global priorities, the regional priorities, and the niche of NBI, given its base as a water resources institution. So when you look at the water security, we are looking at how can the countries achieve the water security, optimizing the water resource, given the challenges that have been explained earlier, the uneven distribution, the increasing population. How can we sustain the water security? The energy security in terms of hydropower specifically, how can we enhance and develop more energy so that we can meet the needs of the basin? The water for agriculture, the food security, how can we use the water to do more in irrigated agriculture, in rain-fed agriculture, but also the trade that comes with the food. We have in the basin instances where there is scarcity and plenty, but the capacity to trade and be able to distribute the food is not there. Then environmental sustainability, the environment, of course, is the container of all the livelihood. Therefore, it needs to be sustained so that all these good things can be taken forward. We need also to look at how the environment can be done. We are looking at the different areas of the environment, including the wetlands, including the forestry, and all the different catchments that are able to sustain the watersheds. Then the climate change, of course, how we can adapt and be able to proof or be able to live within the climate change advent without having to suffer the impact that come with climate change extremes. Then, of course, the transboundary water governance, which is looking at providing basically an enabling environment for the water management to take place without any challenges. We are looking at capacity building, financing, and also the governance structures, how they can optimally be able to deliver on their functions. Yeah, I'm about to finish. Then, in terms of benefits, we have a number of benefits, a common platform for institutional cooperation that is in place and able to bring countries together. We are looking at water resource planning and management, which is able to do knowledge-based water resources management. Studies and tools have been put in place. The water resources development, looking at how we can do the investment in water, food, and energy security. We also have the common platform for cooperation, which is looking at the providing the institutional mechanism that we have here. Then also the issue of impact building of confidence among the states and promotion of regional peace and security, and also looking at the platform for stakeholder engagement in the areas of facilitating dialogue, generating community communication and visibility in the Nile Basin countries. So we have a number of forums that we use. These include the Nile Day, the Nile Basin Development Forum, which was recently concluded in Uganda, the 7th one. Then the strategic dialogues that are held every 23rd of February of every year, and media engagements, including media awards, that happens also regularly. In terms of water resource management, we have the data information knowledge sharing base that we have through the integrated knowledge portal of NBI. We have real-time data and use that is collected through our hydromet system, which has been established, a transboundary hydromet system, which has been established across the basin countries. The EOMETcast, which is collecting satellite-based data that we are able to get almost real-time data on the cloud cover and the basin. Almost every 15 minutes, we are able to get that information and use it in our planning and analysis. Then we have the decision-making tools that can inform the policies and decisions, which can help the planners and decision makers to plan for the water. We have tools for dam cascade operation, for strategic water resource assessments, for planning on the flooding and droughts, and also for the management of the ecosystems. We also have the opportunity for training and capacity building of staff, of human resources in the basin. Many people have benefited from this at formal and informal levels. We've been able to support studies at PhD level, at MSc level, at master's level, and also certificate level and different levels. Many workshops have been run which have helped to leverage capacity in the basin. In terms of water resource development, this is mainly achieved through our subsidiary action programs, the LSAP and the NSAP. We have a number of collaborative water resource investment projects, planning and implementation. We have over 130 investment projects which are at different stages of preparation, implementation, and operation. One of them is the Rusumo hydroelectric power that you see down there, the pictures about it, and it's now operational. It's already generating power for the 3 countries. And these projects benefit over 30 million inhabitants of the Nile Basin, therefore improving their livelihoods. In terms of numbers, we have the vision that is one. It has supported many countries, 10 countries, for the last 25 years. In terms of strategies, we have more than 20 policies and strategies that have been prepared. We have over 10,000 knowledge products that have been produced, and over 40,000 people have benefited from the capacity building efforts of NBI. Still in numbers, in terms of investment, $6.5 billion worth of investment has been prepared, and this has been through 3 centers, and out of the 134 projects, 84 have already progressed to the full preparation and feasibilities. And also we have a ratio of $1 leveraging preparation of investments worth $10, which is a very good ratio according to what economists tell us. So thank you, and that's the summary. Sorry it has taken a bit long.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tom, on behalf of NBI for this summary of the benefits from the cooperation. And now we shall go back to the program and request the ED to present the message from the Secretariat. ED, please.
Our guest of honor, the Minister of Water and Environment, Chair of the Nile Council of Ministers, also host minister to the Nile Basin Initiative Headquarters, Honorable Sam Cheptoris, Your Excellencies, host TAC, Uganda, and TAC members who are online, distinguished partner states of the Nile Basin, the former directors of the Nile Basin Initiative here present, Mr. Patrick Osbert Kahangire, who was the first principal TAC member for Uganda in 1998, when the thinking of the NBI was being put forward, and was also the second executive director, NBI, between 2004 to 2006, now presidential advisor on water in Uganda. Engineer Sylvester Matemo, the 10th executive director, Nile Basin Initiative, who is now the Regional Manager, Nile Basin Discourse, based in Entebbe, heads of centers and representatives from the different Nile Basin centers in Addis Ababa and Kigali, the representative of development partners, Dr. Malte Grossman, and the staff from GIZ, senior government officials, staff of the NBI, the invited guests in your respective capacities, the media, ladies and gentlemen. I'm indeed greatly honored and privileged to welcome you to the Nile Basin Initiative Secretariat. I wish to take this opportunity to most heartedly welcome the Minister, the NILECOM Chair, to the Secretariat, his institution. This event is taking place at the home of Nile Corporation, based in Entebbe, Uganda. I wish to take this opportunity to say how greatly honored we are to have you in our presence today amidst your busy schedule. We are here, Honorable Minister, and we are greatly inspired by your coming, which is a demonstration of commitment and dedication, government of Uganda, and indeed the whole Nile Basin countries. You lead halls to this institution. Let me take this opportunity again to congratulate you, Honorable Minister, for taking upon the NILECOM governance leadership and also hosting very colorful and successful first ever African Network of Basins Organization meeting that took place in Uganda last year in May 2023. It was also followed by yet another memorable occasion of the 7th Nile Basin Development Forum, which took place in Uganda in October 2023, back to back with other governance meetings where we witness you assume the Nile governance leadership. Best wishes during your first tenure of leadership, first year in the year of your leadership, and we at the Secretariat are ready and committed to support you as required. Honorable Minister and NILECOM Chair, 25 years ago, while in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, the Council of Ministers of the Nile riparian countries, namely Burundi, DRC, by then it was Zaire, Egypt, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, with Eritrea as an observer, together endorsed and agreed minute number 1 of 22nd February 1999, approval of the establishment of a new transitional institutional arrangement called the Nile Basin Initiative. From the previous presenter, we have looked at the vision that was negotiated and agreed upon to lead this institution, which is to achieve sustainable socioeconomic development through equitable utilization of and benefit from the common Nile water resources. The same Council of Ministers made a number of commitments, including accepting all countries of the Nile Basin to contribute to their institution, and also requested partners to assist in the operationalization of this institution. It was also in the same meeting that the first Nile Executive Director, Mr. Miraji Msuya, was appointed from Tanzania. Today we are honored, Honorable Minister and NILECOM Chair, to be in the presence of the first principal Nile TAC member of Uganda, who was present during this first NILECOM meeting that established NBI. And I would like, Honorable Minister, through you, first to invite Mr. Kahangire to share with us a short reflection of what happened before I continue. Mr. Kahangire, please.
Thank you, Edie. Friends gathered here, Honorable Minister. A lot has been said in that presentation by Tom Wako, but my reflections, I actually got involved on NARP issues in 1976. That's when we assembled as a group of technicians and engineers in Nairobi under the sponsorship of UNDP and WMO as part of Hydro Survey project to learn how to develop parameters for modeling. That by that time, the project and the donors were thinking of developing a mathematical model. So we are about to start, I think. Many, all from every country, participating country, Egypt, Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, because the others are not coming. That was followed by 76, when I went with 20 of us to Australia to SMEC. SMEC was Snowy Mountains Engineering Corporation, which was designing or developing the first mathematical model on the Nile. So we are counterpart engineers to that study. And I stayed 3 months, good 3 months in Australia, in a place called Kuma, at the bottom of the Snowy Mountains Engineering, Snowy Mountains in New South Wales. After that, out of the 20, again, the governments and with the support of WMO and UNEP by that time also came in, they selected only 10 of us to establish a modeling unit in Nairobi. So from 77, 78, I was in Nairobi, among others. Many of us who were there, many people have passed on. But thank God I'm still here, still sorry. That selection of using Kenya, only Kenya had the capacity, an IBM 370 computer that could handle the model. So we are working under within the Treasury Department of Kenya government. So we had a modeling unit. Again, we were set up and we were there. I was there personally for about 9 months, but others continued. I know Yusuf and others who came. I don't know whether they are still alive. My friend Kobayenda has passed on. That's one I was with in Nairobi. So then, after that, I came back to government. And in 1984-85, that's the first time I was part now of a technical committee under the Hydro Survey project, again with a few friends from Egypt, Sudan, Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. Later on, through our, from 1982, when the donors stopped funding Hydromet, the governments supported Hydromet for 10 years. I remember at that time, even in Uganda, we were contributing $50,000. A lot of money by then to maintain. Our only feeling was that if we allow this organization to break, forming another one would be difficult. So we'd rather sustain until we get more support, but not break. And that has paid off. Because many times other countries would pull out, then a few continue coming in, then Congo, then Rwanda. That way, we have built up the momentum to what we see today. So by 1999, I was a full-fledged TAC member, TC. We had members, as Tom indicated, we had started negotiations of the cooperative framework because it came out of the 1993 support by SIDA. And cooperative framework was identified as one of the key things to do. Particularly, Ethiopia said, unless there is a discussion on cooperative framework, we are not here. Remember, Ethiopia had been on a observer from Hydromet, honorable observer. Two people, they would come and sit in a corner. They say nothing, but they hear everything. They go and report. We don't know what they are reporting. They are very consistent. And at that time, they said, if you want us to be involved, actually, in developing the Tekonari in 91 and 92, we really sat down with Ethiopia. We said, please join us. And we thought that we had agreed. On coming to sign, they didn't sign. They said, because you are still playing with technical things, but we have fundamental issues to address. And indeed, so the cooperative framework, that's why the UNDP selected cooperative framework, and it was actually, it was there before NBI was started. So the cooperative framework and the panel of experts was established in 1997, and they started working before NBI. So actually, in a way, that was also a motivation for forming NBI, because we were getting benefits, we were trying to get also donor support. The World Bank, UNDP, and SIDA, we used to call it the cooperative partners. So they came as a motivation, and later on, in 1999, we had that meeting in Tanzania. At some point, there was again, and I think as countries know now, cooperation is political. Forget about the technical niceties, but cooperation, working together is political. So we have to satisfy political interests. And that giving hope that we are now talking about development, not only training, small jobs, but training and getting serious investments in order. So that the partners headed by the World Bank came with that drive. And so everybody fell in. So that was the motivation for NBI. So we started NBI. Again, we said, everybody was saying, I think, Kahanjire, this is your job. You better be the first ED. I said, I will not be fair to other countries. We want also to motivate other countries to come in. But if you say you are hosting the secretaries, you are ED, then everything comes around you. So that's where we came, say, Musuya. Musuya had been an active Tanzania TAC member. Musuya, I knew him because we studied together in Dar es Salaam as hydrologists. We were the first group in Dar es Salaam to study hydrology, and I was with him. So I knew him. and his capability. So I convinced other TAC members, let's get Musuya. Then instead of everything being around me, we got Musuya, and he was willing, and he came here and served. Really, he gave a good image to the donors and also the countries. So that's what happened. Then I came as second ED, because I was remaining with about 4 or 5 years to retire. So I said, why don't I get out now? So the countries also supported me to come out, and I became the ED. Thereafter, it was my way out. So ever since 2004, I'm fully retired. Now it's 20-something years, almost 20 years. But lucky enough, the president was kind to me. After 10 years, he looked for my address and contacts. Then he asked for some information. I gave him, because during my days, we used to talk openly with each other. So he said, can I give you a job? I said, please, I will be happy. So I was appointed Senior Presidential Advisor on water. I'm still on water for the country, for NBI. I still have fond memories of where we have come from. It has not been easy. But our motto was, don't leave anything break up, because starting afresh is more difficult. And actually it's true. If you came down to start NBI now, very few countries would join you. But because we have been building on the progress, so I want to thank the partners, the donors, particularly the World Bank and SIDA and UNDP. The tremendous job was done by the World Bank. With our friend David Gray, and all the professionals that they could get out. So most of the documents we did at that time, they were done by experts from the World Bank, because we didn't know. But over time, we have captured, we have got on board. People from the basin have skills, they are educated, and they have a spirit of working together. Surely, through working together, that's where our destiny lies. Others may think by breaking off, but I think working together is very, very, very good for the country. So I thank all those who have come from our days. I don't know whether my friends, like from Egypt, is that we had, I understand Kamaru Ali was former minister in Sudan, but he also died. But those were the TC members, very, very cordial, and we really integrated together, and we built what we see now. We're happy for those who came later, for the good effort you are putting in at political level, Mr. Minister, the technical level, and the media and the discourse, everybody to work together for really a shared goal. The Nile belongs to all of us. So our destiny is tied with the Nile. So let's work together, and I know, I'm sure the future is bright. Particularly now that we're talking about development projects, because now this technical thing is good for building capacity, but now people want food, people want power, people want protecting the environment. So that let's give the people what they want, so that we can benefit from the Nile resources. Others, I thank you for this meeting to launch the 25 years. So if somebody wants to know, I was there 25 years ago. I was there actually also almost 20 years before that. So I've been around. I'm one of the few, I think, still alive, that we can go back to 76, 75. So I thank you, but I'm not there because I'm anything special, but it's God's mercy. Amen. Thank you for giving me that chance to reflect. Yes.
Thank you very much, our senior, Mr. Patrick Kahangire. I think let's give another hand clap for the NILCOM chair. This is a wealth of experience which we have, which is undocumented. And I think the story that Patrick has just presented needs to be documented for many to come and read and see the efforts so that it can motivate us all to move together. The Nile Basin Initiative is for cooperation on the Nile water resources. And as an institution, we stand for transparency, teamwork, integrity, innovation, professionalism, and respect for diversity. As you have already heard, NBI has played a crucial role in promoting 25 years of constructive cooperation by promoting cooperative water resources management, sustainable development across the basin, fostering dialogue and also collaboration among the 10 countries. In line with our shared vision, the institution's policy direction, medium to long-term plans is guided by 10-year rolling strategies. The current strategy 2017-2027 is well aligned with national and international commitments like the UN Agenda 23, AU Agenda 2063, Africa Water Vision 2025, Paris Agreement 2015, among others. As the previous speakers have also mentioned, efforts have been made towards making sure that the NBI, which started as a transitional arrangement, would have a legal and permanent institutional framework. I wish to make a little correction on the CFA. When the CFA was negotiated and the countries felt it was time to sign, in 2010, 6 countries signed. The 6 countries were Burundi, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. After that, 4 countries have so far ratified. I need to correct that. The ratification means that the countries have endorsed the document and has approved it as a legal document, and then they have prepared an instrument and deposited it at the AU. So 4 countries have done this. The countries are Ethiopia, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda. According to the Cooperative Framework Agreement, 6 countries should ratify it in order for the Nile River Basin Commission to come into force. We are therefore remaining with 2 more countries to ratify or accede. So far, Kenya and Burundi have finished a number of internal processes, including approvals from cabinet and parliament. And they are yet to deposit their instrument to AU. We have also been informed that South Sudan, which came after NBI was born and joined, is also pursuing various processes towards acceding because they didn't sign. So this is progress that has been made in the last 25 years. And it is not a mean progress. So we want to appreciate and congratulate all the member states that have signed and ratified, and also encourage others to do the same so that the Nile Basin Initiative can eventually have a legal and permanent institutional arrangement based here in Entebbe. Now, NileCom Chair, in commemoration of the great milestone in the establishment of the Nile Basin Initiative in 1999, and to further promote dialogue and basin cooperation, the Council of Ministers in 2007 endorsed 22nd day of February of every year as Nile Day. Since then, different countries have hosted under targeted themes as approved by the Nile governance. In line with the recent decision of the 31st NileCom meeting held in Uganda, government of Burundi will host the 18th Nile Day regional celebration in Bujumbura on the 22nd February 2024. This time around, the Nile Basin member countries will not only commemorate the Nile Day, but also celebrate the 25 years of Nile Basin Initiative existence, the Silver Jubilee, under the theme, Nile Basin Initiative at 25, unlocking the benefits from Nile transboundary cooperation. There are many objectives, but one of it is to allow member states have timely, occasional reaffirmation of their commitment to Nile cooperation. The event will also highlight the importance of cooperation and the sustainable management and development of the common resource amidst climate change challenges. It will also provide opportunity to create awareness and increase the visibility of NBI, and also communicate the achievements, the benefits of Nile cooperation. The event is also aimed at garnering support from various international partners and other regional organizations to find opportunity for partnerships, collaboration that will enable us to have transformative initiatives that will facilitate peace, development, integration, and prosperity in the basin. As you have heard, Honorable Minister, it is now a quarter century. We are a quarter century old of hard work and determination in these transitional arrangements. It is high time, Honorable Minister, through you as the chair, we unlock other benefits of cooperation, which has positive impact to our communities, ecosystems, and economies. One thing that remains is that the NBI is yet to attain this permanent legal institutional recognition in order for it to become the Nile River Basin Commission. So as we witness the launch of this 18th Nile Day commemoration, it will give us time also to reflect on what has happened, as you have heard, but also where we are going. The Nile Day regional celebration will also be having other activities at a national level. We shall have pre-event activities, we shall have during the event activities, but we also have other post-event activities running throughout the year. There are many, I will not be able to mention them because of time, but the launch of this celebration being presided over by the NileCom chair here is one of the pre-event activities. There will be other activities that will be done in Burundi, but there are also other activities where NBI will join countries to commemorate Nile Day, but also demonstrate benefits to countries. In Uganda, this will include participation in the Uganda Water and Environment Week, handing over the hydromet stations, 15 hydromet stations to government of Uganda on 22nd of March, 2024. Participation in the Nile Run, together with the organizing partners, some of whom are here, and other areas which can enable us to increase awareness and visibility. It is our hope in the year that one of the key flagship projects, the regional Rusumo Falls hydroelectric project, worth $500 million US, which is now complete, will be commissioned by the 3 heads of states of Burundi, Rwanda, and Tanzania to show benefits of cooperation. As we talk now, Nile Chair, the power is already being enjoyed by these countries. Each of them is getting about 27 megawatts. So recently when I was in Burundi, it was very easy for me to explain benefits because it was just on top of us. And before I could come back, Nile Chair, Burundi had already paid part of their country contribution towards this in appreciation of what is already on the ground. And they are very optimistic that they will soon finalize the ratification of the Cooperative Framework Agreement. There are many participants I will not go through, but you have heard. To bring us to this level, we have had to have different partners from the international community within the Nile Basin, different development partners, here represented by GIZ. It's a long list. I think when I listed them, they were threatening 30, the development partners alone. And I think we are going to have their logo during the, we are having some here, but we are going to make sure that we really appreciate this. I would like to appreciate at this juncture the founders of NBI, the Nile Basin countries, those who participated in these hard decisions that has made us come this far. We need to thank them. I know some of them are no longer there, but through Mr. Kahangire, I know we also have our former minister, Honorable Kajura and Sendaula. I think we need to visit these people, NBI, and get the story, thank them for what they have done that has made us come this far. So we want to appreciate them. The Nile Basin countries and the governance, through you, the Honorable Minister and Nile Chair, we want to appreciate and congratulate you for the long-term farsightedness, strategic leadership, and oversight. Thanks to the Nile Technical Advisory Committee members for the great efforts that you have made so that the ministers can make informed decisions that bore fruits at this moment and which we still see a lot in the year to come. I've talked about the international communities, our deepest appreciation of goodwill to all the multilateral and bilateral organizations. Let me also congratulate the former executive directors of the Nile Basin Initiative who are present here, those online and those who have not been able to make it. We appreciate all your contribution to the Nile Basin Initiative. The NBI staff and management, thank you very much for keeping the candle burning. The civil society, under the Nile Basin discourse, we have more than 600 civil society organizations and NGOs that are guided by the Nile Basin discourse, which is also another child of the Council of Ministers at that time, supported by World Bank, that has come up to support the support engagement with the low-level communities on matters of Nile Basin in the Nile Basin countries. There are other partners or other partners in the regional economic communities, which we need to appreciate them because we are now doing a lot of networking. We have the GWP East Africa. We have Lake Victoria Basin Commission, East Africa. We have the East African Power Pool. We have IGAD and many others, AMCAO and many others. So our Silver Jubilee is really a testament of unwavering commitment and determination, not only by the Nile Basin countries, but also by our partners, for which we are really appreciative. As I conclude, Honorable Minister and NILCOM Chair, let me reiterate our commitment to supporting the implementation of all the decisions made by the Council of Ministers, the governance, and to make sure that the core functions of the NBI remain active in order to promote collaboration, innovative ways of doing business for the future, and enhance engagements in areas where we might not be able to agree so that we can forge a way together forward. Our prayer is that very soon, through you, the Nile Council of Ministers Chair, the two countries we are looking for will soon come and finalize the ratification so that the Nile Basin River Commission can be established in Entebbe. Once again, thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for gracing this occasion. And I want to wish all of us happy celebrations for the Nile Basin Initiative at 25 and the Nile Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ED, for the report. And thank you, Mr. Kahangire, for also giving us the historical perspective and also telling us that really we need to satisfy the political interest as cooperation is political. I think you are right. And it is good also to hear that through cooperation, Rusumo has come on board, and it is also in a way triggering the other members to fully participate within the cooperation because of the benefit. I want to thank you, and thank you very much. Before we go to the political to give the statement, I thought it was important that there is NBD here who can only say greet the members, just 1 minute, and then I will also ask the representative of the development partners who is also here also to do the same, and then we shall come to the minister to give the speech. Please.
Honorable Minister Sam Chiptoris, Minister of Water and Environment, Republic of Uganda, and Chair of the Council of Ministers, Jackson Tonomujuni, representing the TAC Chair, Executive Director Dr. Florence Grace Adongo, Executive Director of NBI. I recognize you also, development partner representative, are always being with us Dr. Malte, and my brother who have keep waiting for 48 years to see what is happening today. Patrick, can we join our hands? What such of resilience is this? And you are here. God has a purpose for you, my brother. Dear participants who are here, mine is just to greet. I'm not intending to speak the issue of the Nile. My brother has done it. For me, it's just to register one thing very, very important. We need to embrace cooperation with undivided hearts. I think this is very important. This is the message. Second, as the representative of NBD, Nile Basin Discourse. Discourse means conversation. Nile Basin conversation. We need to continue the conversation. And the participation. Yesterday, after I received the invitation, 2 days ago, I was mobilizing. My people is online now. So many are online. Following up this, I motivated the Nile, the board members, the Nile Basin forums, the Nile technical support experts. So some of them are there watching this as it is live. Thank you very much, Executive Director, for recognizing the importance that is being played by the civil society. And touching on, I was 10th, my successor is Dr. Florence, my sister. One thing in my history and how I am taught, so long you have energy, don't go without finishing the job. If you build the house, make sure you finish it, paint it to make the house habitable. We have a challenge. The visibility of the NBI is yet. To me, my experience shows, because I have worked from the bottom, the issue of civil society participation, from what my brother Patrick have said, is still there is a gap. So the issue of strengthening and make sure that the full participation, active participation of civil society is an important. And because of that, NBD has played a role. We will meet later where we are going to demonstrate what NBD has done in the journey of NBI at 25. It is not the right forum here. We will meet in Bujumbura and you will see what NBD is doing on the ground. So I take this opportunity and I am happy to be part of this history. 2049, that's when we are looking for Diamond Gold Jubilee. Patrick and I, we have a question. Shall we be there? But that God will answer it. That is, God will answer it. So, yeah, God will have the answer in that regard. So, we are wishing all the best. We are ready to partner with the NBI. We will make sure that we shout, not only in the basin, but even beyond. And we have started. And we have started. Thank you very much. God bless you. Looking forward for good things and looking to see the commission to come next door. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And indeed, there are many more people who are online now, and we do recognize them as we go ahead. Please, Dr.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, distinguished ED, TAC Uganda, forefathers of NILSEC, and all members here. Also for us, it is really an honor to be part of this 25-year celebration, and it's really fantastic that these celebrations are now kicking off, and I think they'll that involve all of us in the many events to come. And I can say that, you know, in Germany we also have that experience of having all our neighbors in our transboundary river basins. In Germany we have 4 big ones. And for us it has also been a long journey of coming together, establishing mechanisms for cooperation, establishing river basin commissions. And it is because of that experience that I think, you know, many of the partners that you have, that they are committed to this process and this journey that you have been on, because it is something that we have experienced ourselves and we firmly believe is of great importance for regional integration, for cooperation, for peace and security, you know, for having good relations with your neighbors. So I think all of the partners, you know, are proud to have been associated with this big achievement of 25 years. We've seen so many examples of what has been achieved. It is also something I think the global community under the SDG, the SDG 6.5.2, you know, it recognized this importance of having transboundary mechanisms in place. There's even an SDG indicator, you know, talking about transboundary cooperation. So I think it is something that everybody in the world is into, and NBI member states have really made big strides and big progress over the last 25 years, and that we are very happy to have been supporting. So, with these few remarks, I think we're looking forward to the celebrations in Burundi, and appreciate very much for having us in this meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Marx. Yeah, it is now my honor, Honorable Minister, to invite you now to make your presentation and officially launch the Nile Basin at 25 Silver Jubilee. Honorable Minister and Nile Co-Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tunumjini. Colleagues, members of the Nile Council of Ministers who are online and others who may not be online, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our former executive directors, diplomat partners and friends of the Nile, media fraternity, citizens of Nile Basin, ladies and gentlemen. This year, 2024, we, the Nile Basin countries, take stock of successes and challenges in our 25-year Nile Basin Initiative journey, recognizing Nile cooperation as key to sustainable socio-economic development and regional transformation. Let me take this opportunity on behalf of the government of Uganda and on behalf of the Nile Basin Initiative governance to congratulate you all for attaining 25 years of constructive cooperative engagement in the management and the development of the common Nile water resources through the Nile Basin Initiative. The Nile Basin Initiative was established, as you have been told, by the Council of Ministers for Water Affairs at their first meeting as NileCom in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania on 22nd February 1999. The Nile Council of Ministers later approved 22nd day of February of every year as the Nile Day. Since then, Nile Day regional celebrations have been hosted in different Nile Basin countries. Fellow Nile Basin citizens, ladies and gentlemen, you have already been told that the theme for this year's 18th Nile Day celebrations is NBI at 25, unlocking the benefits from Nile transboundary cooperation. Today is important in the Nile Basin countries as I, the NileCom chair, on behalf of my colleagues, ministers in charge of water affairs in the Nile Basin member states, do formally launch the Nile Day celebrations and the NBI Silver Jubilee year. This presents an opportunity to reflect upon the benefits from and the challenges of Nile cooperation journey in our countries and the basin at large. I wish to convey a congratulatory message to all the Nile Basin riparian states, citizens of the Nile, our development partners, the international community, and all stakeholders who have walked this journey with us. You have already been informed that the Nile Basin covers about 10% of the area of Africa's continental landmass, with the basin being home to about 300 million people. With the population of Africa at 1.2 billion, the basin population represents close to 25% of the population, with diverse cultures and languages. This makes the basin an icon of strategic importance in addressing continental challenges and ensuring sustainable development. The River Nile Basin is an important resource for sustainable management and the growth of the riparian states as it supports many sectors of production. Economies of the Nile Basin states are thus highly sensitive to the variation of these water resources, which makes it imperative for us all to work together for the sustenance of this precious resource. The desirable economic transformation of most Nile Basin states relies heavily on the opportunities presented by River Nile, such as the huge untapped hydropower potential estimated at 31,000 megawatts, increased food production through irrigated agriculture, and intra-basin trade in agriculture, among others. The potential benefits extend to other key sectors such as peace and stability in the region, sharing of experiences, and replicating good practice. Despite these opportunities, Nile Basin states are faced with numerous common challenges and risks to the people, the river, and the basin as a whole. These include uneven distribution of water in space and time, extreme floods and droughts, climate change, pollution and environmental degradation, and loss of biodiversity and prevalent poverty among the population. Ladies and gentlemen, it is evident that none of our countries has requisite capacity to meet these challenges alone. And in recognition of this, on 22nd February 1999, our riparian countries agreed to establish the Nile Basin Initiative as a transitional institutional arrangement for the sustainable management of the Nile, pending the establishment of the Nile River Basin Commission. Your Excellencies, Honourable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, In 2006, the Nile Council of Ministers endorsed 22nd February of each year as the Nile Day. Since then, the Nile Day has been held annually with regional events hosted in these states. This year, the government of Burundi will host the 18th Nile Day celebrations in Bujumbura as the Nile Basin countries celebrate 25 years of NBI existence. The NBI's establishment has helped to nurture the culture of cooperation in the use and management of transboundary water in the Nile Basin through provision of a neutral platform to discuss joint benefit for all and address the common challenges which no country can tackle alone. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Nile Basin is undergoing rapid socio, political, economic, and environmental transformation. The growing population demands increased access to water, energy, food, environmental services, coupled with the realities of climate change. The shared waters of the Nile Basin play an important role in these changes and hold potential solutions. We are, however, pleased to note commendable steps taken by the Nile Basin Initiative in the countries to safeguard and develop our common heritage of the Nile Basin. Despite the various basin challenges, NBI has supported, for instance, Uganda and other countries as follows. A transboundary policy and institutional framework have been established that is helping in the management of the shared water resources. Basin-wide capabilities have been enhanced, and a convergence of several institutions, legal and policy frameworks on transboundary water issues have been realized. Basin-wide assessments have been carried out. Cumulative joint transformative investment project volume was of 6.5 billion US dollars is in different stages of implementation. In Uganda, 26 potential hydropower, irrigation, water supplies, fisheries, and basin management and development projects were identified and are at different levels of implementation. The transboundary projects benefit both the upstream and the downstream countries alike, as the country is located midstream of the River Nile. Some of the projects Uganda is benefiting from include Lake Edward and Albert fisheries and the water resources shared with DRC, Angololo shared with Kenya, Nimur shared with South Sudan. The projects upon completion will contribute to Uganda's water, energy, and food security, environmental sustainability, and ultimately to regional development and integration. The interconnection and the power generation projects will increase access to reliable and affordable energy as a result of cross-border power trade, reduced operational costs, and improved planning of energy infrastructure. Investments in watersheds and wetlands are key to maintaining vital ecosystem goods and services such as water supply, unique biodiversity habitat, flood control, drought buffering, and diverse livelihoods such as tourism, fishing, and farming. This makes the restoration and conservation of watersheds and wetlands critical in the overall integrated water resource management and climate change resilience building in the Nile Basin. The establishment of hydrological stations will be integrated in the Nile Basin Regional Hydromet System, lays the foundation for data sharing and information exchange. This is a cornerstone for Nile cooperation, building trust for joint water resources management and planning in the basin. The NBI platform has provided a mechanism to engage, consult, and deliberate among Nile Basin countries on how to collectively take care and use the shared Nile water resources to build a common ground for win-to-win benefits. This has been possible through the various fora that include regular ministerial and technical governance meetings, the annual Nile Day celebrations, the Nile Basin Development Forum, policy and strategic dialogues, and a multi-sector and national level consultation groups. And more than 40,000 people have benefited from capacity building activities through NBI. 10,000 knowledge products have been prepared by NBI. Capacity building of national water experts in water resources management and development through providing peer-to-peer technical working groups and formal technical support for higher qualification of water experts from universities. In 1997, a process for formulation of cooperative framework agreement for the development of a permanent commission for the Nile Basin started. The CFA was negotiated, signed by 6 countries, and ratified by 4. Ladies and gentlemen, these achievements notwithstanding, there are still various hurdles and impediments. More than 2 decades later, we are yet to realize the establishment of an all-inclusive permanent legal institution, the River Nile Basin Commission, that is awaiting the final ratification of the CFA. This requires our countries to work hard and exert our utmost effort to ensure inclusivity, the surest path, the realization of the effective River Nile Basin Commission in the future. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to reiterate the importance of Nile cooperation in protecting, coordinated use and harnessing full benefits from our common water resources. I call upon NBI member states, civil society, academia, cultural leaders, the private sector, friends of the Nile, our development partners, international community, media fraternity, and all individuals within the basin to work together in safeguarding these finite water resources for sustainable socio-economic development for all. Let us commit ourselves to pursue our shared vision with the objective to achieve sustainable socio-economic development through equitable utilization of and benefit from the common river water resources for regional transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege and a duty and an honor to launch the year 2024 NBI at 25 years Silver Jubilee. I wish all of you happy celebrations throughout the year as we continue to promote Nile cooperation. Long live cooperation on the Nile, one river, one people, one vision. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, Honorable the Chair of NIRCOM for the launch of Nile Basin Cooperation, especially Nile Basin celebration and the Silver Jubilee at Nile 25. Now, we expect to have a few questions and any clarifications from the media, and there will really be very few. But what we will do is, this is how it will go. We will, you will indicate. Where? Okay, please.
How this works. So, thank you. So we'll try to be very, very brief. So you give your name, your press house, and just ask one question. We're very few. We have 20 minutes. Okay. So.
Hello, everyone. I am happy to be here. My name is Dorcas Kimono. I work with UBC TV. My question to all of you, except the media, is the Nile Basin has largely depended on donor funds, development partners. 25 years now, if it was a child, 25-year-old girl or man should be able to sustain themselves. What's there that you're going to rely on as the Nile Basin initiative to see that you are self-reliant?
Honorable, do you want to answer the question right now, or we just gather all the question after?
I can give a very rudimentary answer. The technical people, for us politicians, we don't handle such details. But while, of course, we get assistance from the donors, you have been told that each of our countries makes a contribution to NBI. In fact, before I assumed the chair of NBI, where Uganda had a debt of how much? $1.2 million, which we cleared. So each year, we pay, was it about $300,000? $333,000 each year. Each country makes a contribution of that much. Obviously, the money is not enough. But in this world, even the richest countries, get support. So we are not the only ones. Even America is looking for support. Everybody is looking for support. So we are not special. But otherwise, I want to agree with you that we cannot continue depending on the donors all the time. We need to stand on our 2 feet. And I think we are moving slowly. As our economies improve, we shall even improve on our contributions. But Florence, you are the technical person. I may have given a very rough answer. You give the clean one.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I think your answer is not rough. No. From the very beginning of the establishment of the Nile Basin Initiative, the Council of Ministers accepted and committed to making contribution on annual basis to sustain their institution, the Nile Basin Initiative. And this has been going on to support the core costs of the Nile Basin Initiative institution. In addition to that, you have already seen a number of investments, major transformative investments. And within the sustainability framework for the Nile Basin Initiative, it is our hope that in future, when the investments begin to attract resources, part of the investment, the resources of the investment would be plowed back to enable preparations for other projects and in that way, we shall be able to address some of the costs, although it will take a while. And as the Honorable Minister said, dependence on our international community will continue, but all along, step by step, it is our hope that it will reduce as well. And another way is that the Nile Basin Initiative facilitate countries towards potential investments, which countries then take on their own and do the final implementation. And in so doing, we are supporting countries to improve on the economic base with the hope that in future, some of these will be plowed back through the country contributions. If you could have listened, the country contribution started with the $50,000 US from our senior, he said. From $15,000. We are now talking about $333,000 US per country. I think that is a sign of great commitment and ambition, despite the fact that we are still a transitional arrangement. So what I can say is that from the demonstration, countries are ready to make sure that this institution continues to perform and find other innovative mechanisms of diversification of financing the institution and through the institution to give benefit to the member countries who founded it. Thank you.
A second question from...
Sorry, I have to come again. The answers, yeah, they're good, and I think I'll take that. But there is another question of, it's now 4 years since Egypt froze her participation in the NBI. As the chair, Honorable Minister, as the chair of the Council of Ministers, what are you doing to see that you lure them back? I don't know, lure, maybe it might be the wrong word, but to ask them back on board. Because we are talking about cooperation in the Nile Basin for development. What are you doing?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for what can I say about that? You know, when I became chair of the Nile Basin Initiative in 2017? In 2017, I made it my job to engage with Egypt. And we held several meetings in various places, which unfortunately did not bear fruit. But somehow, it helped all of us to understand each other. We were able to appreciate the issues which were being raised by Egypt. Egypt was able to understand us, our thinking. And then COVID came in. We didn't do much during that time. And then when I was taking over this time, I pledge to continue to engage with Egypt to see that they come on board, fully come on board. Because it is true that when one member is out of the equation, it is not good. Because when we talk of cooperation, all of us need to come on board. So as chair of the NILCOM, really it is it is my responsibility and the responsibility of all of us to ensure that we bring back Egypt. When I went to Egypt to attend their water week, sometime, was it October this year? Last year. I have forgotten, this is 2024. You know, for us, with our age, we process things very slowly. You don't move very quickly with the times. So my mind is still in 2020, but I think slowly I will catch up. So we had a meeting with the Minister for Water Resources of Egypt and his technical team. We had a long meeting where we were discussing the possibilities of them coming back. Of course, they gave the conditions which they want us to fulfill before they come back. But I think they also realize that it is important for all of us to be together. But the truth is, it will take a bit of time because they hold very strong views. Egypt holds very strong views about the cooperative framework agreement. They really hold very strong views. And they have not deviated from their original thinking. They still insist that the cooperative framework agreement is not fostering inclusivity. Instead, it is dividing. That is how they looked at it. That if they joined NBI, then they will be part of this divisionism. So this is now for NILCOM. When I make my report, I will report as we discussed in Egypt. But we pray that both Egypt and us will soften our stances, our stand. We will soften and compromise so that our institution forges ahead. We pray. And they say that mountains never meet, but human beings meet, isn't it? So we shall meet somewhere. We shall meet somewhere.
Thank you very much. I think it's over for the press briefing. I invite you to take a family picture in the reception so that we... okay. Do you have a floor? No, he's not apparently the...
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I thought I should say something. My name is David Serwauden Subuga. I'm a Lieutenant Governor of Rotary District 9213. that is based in Uganda. Honorable Minister, I want to thank the ED for inviting us here. As you know, Rotary International embraced environment as the 7th focus area, and you recall, Honorable Minister, that last year you launched the Run for the Nile, which is being spearheaded by Rotary, the Rotary Club of Kampala Central, and Promote Uganda. And this year, we are holding it on March 23rd at Jinja. So one of the things I wanted to say is that there is an opportunity for us actually to raise awareness about the Nile through our Rotarians across all the countries of the Nile Basin. And I want to encourage the different countries coming from that are based on the Nile, that something that we have started in Uganda could be replicated in all countries across the Nile. And the idea is actually we can raise a lot of resources for conservation. We realize that Lake Victoria and the Nile is quite polluted with plastics. And this is one of the objectives of the Run for the Nile, to ensure that we raise resources to protect plastics from entering into Lake Victoria and in the Nile. And that way, we can also contribute to environmental protection of the Nile. And at the same time, this region has so many athletes, Ethiopia, Uganda, and if we can promote Run for the Nile to become a tourist attraction, it can become like a London Marathon, New York Marathon, and actually use it to raise funds for conservation and growing of trees along the Nile. So I thought I needed to say that, to encourage countries to even bring participants. This time around, the District 9212, that involves Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Ethiopia, they are also coming to participate on March 23rd. So I hope, Honorable Minister, you spare the time to be with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We are respecting strictly the protocol and the agenda. Right now, we have to go to take a picture, Honorable.
No,
if you allow me.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And we want to thank the Honorable Minister for the statement, and thank all members who have participated both here and online. And members online, thank you very much for participating. Now we are coming to the end of this event. What will continue now is really the picture and for the people who have participated, which will be for those who are directly here. But the events related to Nile at 25 will continue according to the program already presented by the Executive Director. Now for members here, we are being guided that we are going for at the reception where the photo will take place. Can you see?
Just those who are online can turn on the camera so that we can take a picture too.
Yes, Jackie, we can see you. I hope Jackie from Rwanda. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Please turn on because we are taking this one. It is part of our NBI record, and we would want to know those who have participated, and especially your faces. Please. Yeah, we are giving you 1 minute so that you can turn on, because okay. I want to say thank you very much, all of you who have participated. We have seen you, and thank you for joining in this event. And now we are coming to the end of the event, and we shall do that with the anthem. Then after the anthem, we shall go for the yeah. Please, anthem, please. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, members who have participated online, and thank you all of us in the work. This comes to the end.
The River Nile is famed as the longest river in the world. Within the Nile Basin lie 11 states, and it is a key concern for these states due to the growing populations to sustain economic growth, meet the increasing demand for food, water, and energy for their citizens. Such a powerful resource coursing through the land comes with both opportunities and challenges. The vitality of the Nile supports various wetlands, lakes, and rivers, plus the growing populations that heavily depend on the benefits of this resource. These would include, but not limited to, the potential for hydropower generation, increased food production and intra-basin trade in agriculture, navigation, and more. The Nile Basin member states have an opportunity for economic integration that would bring prosperity to the region. However, attaining these opportunities comes with challenges. These include the impact of climate change that affects the water levels of the Nile, extreme droughts and floods, hydrologic variability, environmental degradation, and loss of biodiversity. And not forgetting the increasing demand of a growing population that is tied to the Nile's vivacity. It is quite clear that none of our countries has the capacity to tackle these challenges alone. Cooperation is the only solution. The need for cooperation birthed the Nile Basin Initiative. It was established on 22nd February 1999 by the ministers in charge of water affairs in the various Nile Basin states. NBI is made up of 10 member states: Burundi, DR Congo, Egypt, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, the Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda. Eritrea fills in the role of observer. NBI's purpose? To achieve sustainable socio-economic development through the equitable utilization of and benefit from the common Nile Basin water resources. This is alongside parallel efforts towards a formal Cooperative Framework Agreement, CFA, to create a permanent and legally mandated institution. The Nile Council of Ministers of Water Affairs, comprised of ministers responsible for water affairs in the NBI member states, is the highest decision-making body and provides policy guidance. The Nile Technical Advisory Committee, is comprised of technical representatives from the partner states who provide technical advice and assistance to the Council of Ministers. Professional day-to-day management of the NBI is by the Secretariat, NALSEC, located in Entebbe, Uganda, and the two investment arms, namely the Eastern Nile Technical Regional Office, ENTRO, based in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and the Nile Equatorial Lake Subsidiary Action Program